Hello and very warm welcome. You are watching Pulse of Africa. The 2025 Annual General Meeting of ID4Africa is being held here in Ethiopia, Addis Ababa, the political and diplomatic center of Africa. So what is ID4Africa and what it aspires to achieve? So ID4Africa is a big Pan-African movement aimed at building strategic capacity needed for developing responsible identity ecosystem. So ID4Africa believes that inclusive identity system is very much essential for economic growth and digital transformation of governments. ID4Africa was established in 2014, and the first ID4Africa event was held in Tanzania, Dar es Salaam. The annual general meeting of ID4Africa has been conducted for the past 10 successive years, and the 2025 annual general meeting of ID4Africa is being held in Ethiopia under the theme Digital Identity at Scale, prioritizing use and maximizing impact. This transformative event has brought together more than 2,000 attendees from different parts of the world, from more than 100 countries. I will be back with other relevant informations and updates. Do stay with us. Stay tuned.
It gives me great pleasure to warmly welcome all of you, whether you're joining us here in person or tuning in online, to the kickoff of the 2025 ID4Africa Annual General Meeting. This year, we gather under the theme, Digital Identity at Scale, Prioritizing Use, Accelerating Impact. This theme captures both the urgency and the opportunity of the moment. It calls on us to focus on how we can scale digital identity to reach entire populations, unlocking meaningful use cases that deliver impact. Today, in Africa's political capital, we begin a new chapter in our journey, the dawn of our second decade in the pursuit of identity for all. We come together not merely as attendees at a conference, but as members of a movement, an identity for development, ID4D movement, the ID4Africa movement. Here in Ethiopia, we convene for the defining event of the ID4D community, the event that has come to symbolize our shared resolve to shape Africa's digital future and to empower every individual with a recognized identity and to ensure that no one is left behind. Yet, as we embark into this new chapter, let me be clear, this is far from business as usual. The world around us is changing at an unprecedented pace, and if we fail to confront the disruptive forces shaping our reality, we risk losing momentum, or worse, being derailed. So what are these forces, and how are we, as a movement governed by African member states, responding to them? First and foremost, digital transformation is no longer a choice. It is an urgent necessity. The world is moving in that direction faster than ever before, and the cost of inaction is rising exponentially. It's equally clear that meaningful digital transformation cannot happen without digital identity. To catch up and unlock the full promise of digitalization, nations must accelerate their transformation plans and leapfrog into a digital-first mindset, prioritizing solutions that are purpose-built for the digital age from the outset. Second, profound shifts in the geopolitical landscape are straining international cooperation and ushering a new world order. Unilateral, self-serving agendas, particularly from the global north, are increasingly fueling tensions and geopolitical conflicts, while new barriers are being erected precisely where bridges are most urgently needed. In this challenging landscape, Africa must draw strength from within, mobilizing its collective resources and defining its future on its own terms. This includes engaging with international partners, not as passive recipients, but as equal stakeholders whose priorities and sovereignties are respected. As a movement, we fully support the African Union's digital transformation strategy and are committed to advancing its digital identity goals by fostering and sharing African knowledge and expertise across the continent. Third, public finances everywhere are under severe strain as countries grapple with mounting economic pressures and limited capacity to take on new debt. In this context, initiatives must be assessed from the outset with a clear focus on return on investment, ROI. At the same time, it's essential to explore alternative financing mechanisms, such as public-private partnerships, as a means of advancing the digitalization agenda without increasing national debts. As the ID4D movement, it is our responsibility to disseminate knowledge on ROI and alternative financing models. But we need the support of economists. If you have relevant data or case studies, please share them with us. We can prioritize their integration in our programming. Fourth, the countdown to 2030, the deadline for achieving the Sustainable Development Goals, is rapidly approaching. With just 5 years to go, SDG 16.9, which calls for identity for all, including birth registration, is in serious jeopardy unless we break away from business as usual. Recent projections from UNICEF paint a sobering picture. Without bold, accelerated action in civil registration, Africa risks missing that goal, not just in 2030, but for generations to come, all the way to 2060 maybe. And that is simply unacceptable. Birth registration is not only the foundation of legal identity, it must also be the cornerstone of trustworthy digital identity, empowering individuals and protecting their rights in the digital age. Fifth, artificial intelligence has taken the world by storm, with the potential to add trillions to global GDPs. But it also brings the risk of a deepening digital divide, one that could leave Africa further behind. This moment calls for urgent, forward-looking policies and coordinated investments in local data, infrastructure, and regional collaboration, including in areas like energy. Just as crucial is accelerating inclusive access to mobile and digital platforms, including digital identity. It is encouraging to see AI becoming central to the development agenda, with ICT ministries, particularly here in Ethiopia, aligning national plans to the EU's new AI strategy. We'll revisit this topic in the future as the interplay between AI and digital identity becomes more apparent. Six, cyber attacks are sharply on the rise, and they are no longer just the work of individual hackers. Increasingly, state actors are behind these attacks. No one is immune. Regrettably, ID4Africa was targeted yesterday by malicious actors, resulting in temporary disruption of our systems, including the mobile app. While some might view this as a backhanded compliment, a sign of our growing relevance, it is in truth a distraction and a drain on energy that could have been used more constructively. Thanks to the vigilance of our team and the assistance from our colleagues in Ethiopia, we've continued to resist these attacks and maintain service. What is clear is that cybersecurity must be treated as a matter of national defense. Every country and organization should be prepared. Your digital public infrastructure, including your digital identity, is a likely target in this new era of cyber warfare. Identity authorities, elevate your defenses accordingly. So where does all of this lead us? The convergence of these forces has brought us to a defining moment, one that holds profound implications for Africa, including for identity development. While it's easy to focus on the challenges, we choose to see the opportunity. We see a chance to chart a confident path forward, one that harnesses Africa's strengths and assets. The next chapter must be defined as the decade of Africa's self-reliance. Yes, my friends, the time has come for Africa to look even more deeply inward, to trust more in its own capabilities, and to prioritize securing its assets and interests. Now is the time to draw strength from Africa's roots and to make inter-African cooperation the catalyst for growth while remaining vigilant against the shifting threat landscape. As a movement, we are guided by the collective will of our African member states, which we translate into core principles to guide our work. You will find several of these in the event guide, page 92. At last year's AGM, we introduced the principle empowering every voice, every choice, a commitment that deepened inclusivity and reinforced our technology neutrality. This year, in response to the rapidly changing global order, we are introducing another, one that's inscribed on the back of your badge. From Africa, for Africa, in Africa. This is more than just a slogan. It's a declaration of purpose, reaffirming our commitment to Africa first in all that we do. While we welcome global collaboration, it must always serve Africa's priorities. This principle is clearly reflected in our agenda this week, as I'll explain shortly. But before I do that, I'd like to remind everyone that our community also has its day, a day dedicated to celebrating the vital importance of identity. That day is 16 September, ID Day. Since its adoption by the ID4Africa Assembly in 2018, it has become an integral part of our movement's culture. This year's campaign will be centered around the theme, My Identity, My Umbrella. Let's remember everyone needs one on a rainy day. It's a powerful symbol of protection and empowerment. Now I'd like to share a few words about our agenda for this week, starting with some key figures. This year's program offers 57.5 hours of content, aligned with our central theme. These hours are distributed across the following thematic areas. A quick scan of the event guide reveals that this program is far more than a collection of sessions. It is a carefully curated reflection of Africa's and ID4D's current realities and a powerful testament to our commitment to Africa first. Compared to 2024, we've achieved a 100% increase in the number of African speakers and a 60% expansion in the number of African countries featured. In addition, the overall program has expanded in scale. Total session hours are up by 78% from last year, and the number of program segments has grown by 110%. As a result, Ethiopia's AGM will be remembered as the most ambitious ever. We scaled the program by introducing parallel tracks on days 2 and 3, because quite simply, there is too much happening in Africa to follow a linear format. Actually, the parallel tracks are also necessary to make room for the diverse voices of our community, from government, civil society, to the private sector, and our valued international partners. But scale isn't the only exceptional aspect of this program. Its substance and depth are equally noteworthy. This year, for agenda design, we leveraged the ID4Africa Identity Ecosystem Self-Evaluation Framework, ISEF, an internal tool that was developed in collaboration and for use by our bureaus. It assesses the state of development of a country's identity ecosystem across 140 key performance indicators grouped into 12 domains. 38 out of our 48 member states completed the exercise in time to influence this year's program. The analysis provided us with an enormous amount of data from across the continent, which we used to craft an Africa First program. Global expertise were integrated to fill remaining gaps and to foster collaboration. So quickly, how is the week structured? This morning, we kick off, after the break, the first plenary session. on Africa's digital identity progress from across the continent, featuring in-depth knowledge sharing from 11 countries and highlighting a special segment called Eye on Ethiopia, where you will get an in-depth understanding of the progress that Ethiopia has made with its FIDA program. In the afternoon, we will have several segments with identity veterans who will share unique first-hand experiences and insights on how to achieve success, interoperability, and scale, culminating with a keynote on Beyond Identity, focusing on digital public infrastructure. Day 2 begins with real-world use cases in finance, travel, and health, followed by a session on DPI for development in the afternoon. Notice this session will include an update on the Digital Identity Hackathon Africa. In the afternoon, we will also have a powerful session titled From Data to Dignity, which explores legal and policy safeguards to ensure identity does no harm. This includes vital civil society perspectives. Please do not forget to join us tomorrow at 17:30 as we unveil the host country for the 2026 AGM. Also, I remind delegation leaderships that we are now entertaining expressions of interest for 2027 hosting. Day 3 features 2 full-day symposiums, one on digital identity, examining adoption, robustness, biometrics, interoperability, and data risks. The second on legal identity, highlighting progress in decentralization of civil registration, synergies with health, and challenges related to migration and statelessness, all very critical topics and all being treated for the first time here. And 2 half-day symposiums, a morning track continuing the DPI and DPG dialogue from day 2, featuring use cases on OpenG2P, MOSIP, OpenIMIS, and OpenSPP. An afternoon track on digital identity in the financial sector, spotlighting central banks and financial DPI strategies. Day 4 marks the conclusion of the AGM with 6 interactive workshops where development partners and attendees will collaborate to tackle open issues and shape priorities for the year ahead. Please note, workshops 1, 4, and 5, led by the World Bank, UNDP, and Caribou, are open to all attendees, space permitting. The remaining workshops are by invitation only. The workshops take the core program to the next level and permit the type of interaction that the plenaries cannot. So do not miss the experience and rich knowledge. Seats are limited, so arrive early Friday morning for your chosen track. Everything will end at 2 p.m. with a lunch, so you're free to enjoy the wonderful city of Addis. So please take advantage of your presence here. Also, let me remind you that the world's largest ID4D exposition will run during the first 3 days of the AGM, featuring 120 innovators showcasing their latest solutions. The exhibition spans 3 pavilions, so be sure to explore them all. The exposition will also host several exciting events, including the grand networking reception happening later today, supported in part by SIA, and Expo Explore, sponsored by the Friends of the ID4Africa community, running for 3 days. This is a gamification. It's an interesting experience with prizes, etc., to encourage networking. So thank you to the Friends of the ID4Africa community. Before concluding, I wish to emphasize that an event of this magnitude could not be realized without the collaboration, coordination, and support of numerous stakeholders and partners. Earlier in my remarks, I acknowledged the government of Ethiopia for its vital role as host, and rightly so, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. I would like to continue by recognizing our country bureaus, consisting of the 126 ambassadors representing the 48 member states. These dedicated individuals have been instrumental in helping us shape the program, recruit speakers, and assemble the most qualified national delegations. We sincerely thank the leadership of the member states for empowering our ambassadors to engage actively in the movement and for authorizing the participation of over 1,000 government officials from all African countries. This is a record here set in Ethiopia. 1,000 government officials are here. 2,300 overall, 1,000 government officials. Next, I would like to thank our development partners, starting with the World Bank. This year, through their Digital Academy program, They have provided logistical and financial assistance for approximately 15% of our African government attendees, helping us to expand participation and broaden our attendee base. The World Privacy Forum, co-developed, and the Gates Foundation, together and collectively, these organizations have helped cover the travel expenses for an additional 15% of our African attendees. Their support has been instrumental in enhancing inclusion and diversity by increasing representation from data protection and privacy, civil society, and DPG-related attendees and females, respectively. Many of these development partners have also played an important role as knowledge partners. So thank you goes to them again and to the other knowledge partners listed here. We extend our heartfelt thanks to our patrons and category sponsors as well for their invaluable support, and to our distinguished speakers whose insights and expertise enrich our program. A special thank you as well to the exhibitors and their exceptional technical and business teams. Their innovations bring energy and real-world relevance to this gathering. And very importantly, I'd like to recognize the outstanding team of the ID4Africa General Secretariat. Please give them a round of support. It is a round of applause. It's through their dedication and tireless efforts that the movement is able to develop and convene such a high-impact event. Finally, my sincere thanks go to you, our attendees, and to your respective organizations. A round of applause, please, for authorizing your participation in this vital event. Your presence, your passion, and your continued engagement are what gives this movement life. This is your movement. Thank you for continuing to nurture it year after year. In closing, let me emphasize that the momentum for digital identity in Africa has never been stronger. This week, you will learn about many ID programs that are achieving great success on the continent. We are proud of every one of them, especially because each is charting its unique path to success, clearly demonstrating the diversity of approaches possible towards digital identity. This week, we're not merely exchanging ideas and lessons learned from these programs. We're shaping a future where identity serves as the foundation for inclusive development, economic empowerment, and the protection of human dignity. Let us approach the days ahead not as passive participants, but as active builders of that future. Let us see in the challenges ahead the opportunities to chart Africa's digital destiny on its own terms. My friends, the journey ahead is ours to lead. From Africa, for Africa, and in Africa. Thank you for listening.
Your Excellency, Dr. Abiy Ahmed, Prime Minister of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, Your Excellency Agenyo Shagar, Speaker of the House of Federation, Your Excellency Theodros Mehret, President of the Federal Supreme Court, Your Excellency Adanech Abebe, Mayor of Addis Ababa, Honorable Ministers, Dr. Joseph Atik, distinguished ID4Africa participants, all protocols observed. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my distinct honor to stand before you today at this momentous ID4Africa gathering representing Ethiopia's transformative journey in digital identity. As we gather in our beautiful capital, we celebrate a milestone that seemed ambitious just 3 years ago: the successful implementation of FIDA, our national digital ID system, which now serves 15 million Ethiopian citizens. The story of FIDA is not merely about numbers. It's about building what we proudly call the Ethiopian stack, a comprehensive digital infrastructure that forms the backbone of our nation's digital future. This achievement did not happen by chance. It's the result of 3 fundamental pillars that guided our journey. First and foremost, the unwavering political leadership spearheaded by His Excellency Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed. He has positioned digital identity as a cornerstone of our national development agenda. Excellency, your vision has been instrumental in establishing robust governance framework, and seamlessly integrating FIDA with our Digital Ethiopia 2025 strategy. The second pillar, technical excellence with purpose. It has seen us leverage local expertise to customize open source solutions effectively. We've built an authentication ecosystem that now serves more than 55 service providers, implementing strong data protection measures while ensuring accessibility for all Ethiopians. This technical foundation has been crucial in maintaining the integrity and reliability of our system. The third and an important pillar is our success has been our strategic partnerships with our civil service agencies, with the state-owned enterprise of Ethiopia, and also equally importantly with international partners, including our state-owned enterprise, international partners, including World Bank's invaluable support through the Digital Ethiopia project, MOSIP's technical expertise, our active engagement with the ID4Africa community and the broader ID4D community, the ID4 development community. They have provided us with good, important knowledge, resources, best practices needed to implement this ambitious program effectively. The impact of FIDA has been remarkable and immediate. We have witnessed up to 60% reduction in service delivery time, significantly enhanced financial inclusion, strengthened social protection programs. The system has simplified access to services across both public and private sector, making daily transactions more efficient and accessible to our citizens. Looking ahead, our vision remains clear and ambitious. We are committed to achieving universal coverage by at least 2027, ensuring all 120 million plus Ethiopians will have access to digital ID, regardless of their geographical location, their economic status, or social circumstances. This is not just a target, it's a promise to our people, a promise of inclusion, dignity, and opportunity. Your Excellency, with your leadership, Ethiopia has embraced digital transformation, not as a luxury, but as a necessity for our development. FIDA stands as a testament to our nation's commitment to inclusive growth and modernization. As we continue this journey, we remain dedicated to ensuring that digital identity serves as a catalyst for development, resilience, and dignity for all Ethiopians. And now it's my distinct honor and privilege to invite to the stage FIDA's visionary champion and a leader who sees technology not just as a tool, but as a catalyst for transformation. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, please rise as we welcome His Excellency Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed to deliver the keynote host country address. I thank you.
Honorable Speaker, Honorable President of Supreme Court, Madam Mayor, Honorable Dr. Joseph Atik, Chairman of ID4Africa, Honorable Ministers, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning and a very warm welcome to Addis Ababa, the diplomatic capital of Africa, where nations meet and futures are shaped. I also welcome you to Ethiopia, where identity is deeply rooted in history, connecting our past to our shared future. It is a great pleasure to host you for ID4Africa 2025, where together we will explore how identity can empower individuals, strengthen nations, and shape a more inclusive world. Excellencies, in recent years, digital identity has evolved from a promising innovation into a foundational pillar of digital transformation. It is no longer an optional layer. It is an essential infrastructure that connects people to services, communities to institutions, and governments to the aspirations of their citizens. As digital identity gains global traction, we are reminded that the true measure of success is not in the number of systems built, but in the lives transformed. For decades, Ethiopia's identification landscape was fragmented, serving only a portion of our communities while leaving millions behind, facing repeated barriers to accessing the very service meant to empower them. The lack of a unified, trustworthy system created silos, duplication, and inefficiencies. That's why 2 years ago, guided by the vision of Digital Ethiopia 2025, and we made a choice to build a modern, inclusive, foundational, and scalable digital identity system accessible to every resident, regardless of location, income, or background. We call the system FIDA. FIDA means in our local language, value. FIDA is not merely a card. It is a unique number that proves who you are while protecting your privacy and sharing only what is necessary. Since its launch, FIDA has reached close to 50 million people, but our ambition is greater, driving toward a future where all residents are included. FIDA is already unlocking access to vital services and opportunities. It is giving people across the country the means to participate in the digital economy, contributing to a more level playing field. Yet we know that registration is only the beginning. The true value of digital identity lies in its use. That's why our strategy goes beyond this initial step by integrating FIDA across key sectors such as finance, healthcare, education, telecommunications, public services, including social protection. We are building a trusted ecosystem where identity serves the people. The impact of this effort is already being felt. In the financial sector, digital transactions have surpassed 12.5 trillion birr. With bank account now being linked to FIDA, we are ushering in a new era of integrity, transparency, and inclusion. For the first time, millions are gaining access to savings, credit, and formal markets, thereby expanding inclusive participation in the productive economy. We remain equally focused on outcomes. Digital identity must reduce costs, eliminate fraud, and expand inclusion with meaningful change. At the center of this transformation lies Ethiopian innovation. Ethiopian developers have played a central role in adapting an open source platform to meet our national needs, ensuring technology sovereignty and laying a strong foundation for long-term sustainability and innovation. FIDA has become a digital public good built for and by Ethiopians. Looking ahead, FIDA will enable Ethiopia to participate in Africa's fast-growing digital economy while playing a key role in implementing the African Continental Free Trade Area. Digital identity improves governance, streamlines service delivery, and brings digital to every individual. But no government can do this alone. We call upon the private sector, civil society, and international partners to join us, because when identity is universal, trusted, and empowering, then the development is no longer a promise, it becomes a reality. Distinguished delegates, allow me to congratulate Dr. Joseph Atik and his team for transforming ID4Africa into a global movement that inspires action and progress. I sincerely thank him for trusting Ethiopia to host this important event. Over the next 4 days, you will engage in deep learning, meaningful exchange, and rich knowledge sharing. I warmly encourage you to explore Ethiopia beyond the conference halls, from the vibrant streets of Addis Ababa to unique cultures and breathtaking landscapes across our country. There is much to experience. When it is time to return home, I encourage you to do so with renewed determination to build a future where every individual holds a trusted digital identity, an identity that empowers full participation in society, in the economy, and one that drives inclusive progress across our continent. The future is not a distant vision. I urge all of us to move forward with purpose and unity to unlock Africa's full potential. I wish you a successful conference and enjoy your stay in Ethiopia. I thank you.
The 2025 annual general meeting of ID4Africa has been undergoing pretty much very well here in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, and the program will continue over the coming 4 consecutive days. Many thanks for being with us, and goodbye to you all.